What's going on, everybody? Grim Repair here. Today I'm going to show you how to change both of the transmission filters on a 2014 Nissan Versa. Yes, there are two of them. And there'll be links down below where you can get these, the fluid, the tools, everything you're going to need in the description. First thing we're going to do is pop the hood. We're going to loosen this hose clamp here with a flathead screwdriver. We're going to remove the battery cables from the battery using a 13mm socket. Slide those out of the way. There we go. We're going to loosen up this 10mm here. Get this ductwork out of the way. And right down there is the battery hold down bolt. It's a 13mm. We're going to loosen that. And we got to remove all this stuff here so we can get to the fill for the transmission fluid. It's buried under all this. Pull the battery out. Next, we're going to remove these 13mm nuts and bolts holding in the battery tray. And there's a couple 10mm bolts right here holding onto this computer. There's a ground, nope, that's on the computer bracket. And then there's a little clip here holding the wire, and there's a clip right here. We're gonna have to loosen those up. There's another clip under these leaves here. There's another one there. So we'll just push the tabs in on these on both sides, and they should just pop right through. Down. That one's down. All right. Now this one over here, holding this ground strap. Using a small pair of pliers on this one. If I can get it through that way. There we go. Bolted in back here also. 10mm. And two more right here. Really don't want you getting this battery tray out of here. It looks like there's two more right here. ratcheting wrench fits right in there. let's loosen this ground here on this bracket. Looks like we got to swing it out of the way. It's a 10 millimeter. Go ahead and unplug this. We're gonna push in on this little tab right here and swing this up. Just like that. Pop this tab here through the bracket. And it's out. Screw these back in. They're shorter than the others. We don't want to mix them up. Put these longer ones with this thing. They go right there. Pop the battery cables off of this bracket as well. And now hopefully we can get it out. It'll lift up over these studs. We got another thing here holding on. We need a 10 millimeter wrench. Slide this bracket off. And is it gonna come out? Oh, so we got another cable strapped to it. Let's see, where's that cable holding on? Underneath here, right there. So we're gonna push that tab through. And it's out. Put these two nuts back. And right here is our dipstick fill tube. It's got a cap on it. It's got a little tab on the side. You pop it off and we'll be able to snake a funnel down there. Now that we can get to that, we're gonna jack the car up. Slide the jack right there under the subframe. Now we're gonna slide a jack stand under, right about there. Pop the hubcap off. Remove the lug nuts. They're a 21 millimeter. And now we've got to remove this splash shield here. There's a bunch of little clips in it. I'm going to show you how to pull those out. I don't have the actual pair of pliers to do it, but I can do it with a regular pair of pliers and a flathead. All right, here's one. Just come under it with that. Oh, that one's too easy. But anyway, you're going to come under here, and when you do that, these close in and they pop right out. Push them down, these out here expand, and that's what holds it in. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all those. right, I've got the front half of them removed. There's probably some more underneath here. I'm hoping I can just pull it out and push it over and leave the back ones in. I'm gonna go underneath and check for more. And there's more, so. And these were recently replaced because the headlight was replaced up here. Some of these will probably break if they've been there for a while. I'll link to some where you can get some new ones. They don't cost too much. It's good to have them on hand before you start this. We gotta remove this Torx bit here. Another one here. And then I think it'll probably come out after that. And it's a T20. Screw it back in so I don't lose track of it. We got another one down here. I don't know if that one's in there or not. Let's see. Let's just take it off, just to be sure. Ugh. Yikes. All right. I believe it's out. Be careful of this line right here. Tuck it back behind it. There we go. I think we got enough room here to get in there. Alright, so just kind of swing it aside. And what we need to get to in here is this guy right here. Take a 10mm and loosen that bolt right there. I'm gonna grab a clean and empty drain pan because we're gonna measure the fluid we take out. I don't have any leaks, so I should be at the appropriate level. Just gonna take that bolt off right there. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna drain the pan. Just get anything out that might be up there. Probably not a whole lot, but there's a drain plug under here. All right, there's a drain plug right there. It's a 19mm. Not a whole lot of fluid's gonna come out of there because there is a tube that goes up to a certain level, and it won't come out if it's not above that tube. So only a little bit should come out of here. You want to try and catch as much of it as you can, because like I said, we're going to measure it. Set that aside. You probably want to replace that washer there. Let that finish draining down, and then we'll go in with a 6mm Allen head and remove the tube that's inside of there. All right, now that that stopped dripping, we're gonna take a 5mm Allen bit, and there's a tube in there that we're gonna have to loosen. It'll make more sense once I get it out. We're gonna lose a little more fluid this way, but it's loose now. So I'm just gonna pull it out and get out of the way real quick. And I did get a decent amount of fluid out of there just pulling the bolt, drain bolt. I don't know if it's because the car's not level or what, but all right. So here's this one, and I believe it's loose, so I'm gonna get it out of the way real quick. And so this tube here is hollow. You can see through it, and it makes sure that the fluid is to this level, and that's gonna be kind of how you measure your fluid level. You're gonna do that with the transmission at operating temperature, and it needs to be on level ground. So we'll probably put it back on the ground and do that, and then we'll just pull the drain bolt out of this pan, and anything that's overfilled is gonna come out. You're gonna heat it up, and you're gonna open that probably with it not running, and it drains out. But then that's what you do if you don't know how much fluid to put in. But since I don't have any leaks, I'm gonna put in what I take out, and I'll know that I'm okay. I'm gonna have to measure what comes out, and I'm gonna have to make sure that I don't spill any of it. These transmissions are real sensitive. You got to maintain them. They're the weak point of this car. The CVT transmission just doesn't last very long, so you got to take care of it. All right, so we're gonna let that drain, and then we'll pull that filter out of the side. We could probably go ahead and do that now. All right, so we're gonna move this into a place where it can catch the fluid from this and the fluid from that at the same time. We're gonna remove this 10mm bolt right here, and it wasn't very tight, so pull this bolt out, and then you're gonna grab the housing. You can kind of see this tab up here, and then this tab sticking out. That's what's holding it in, really. So once you turn it counterclockwise, and then it'll have enough room to slide out of there. But it's turning pretty easy. I might put something in here just to help twist it out. I don't know, this into this here will fit pretty well. There we go. Just turn it. There we go, and now it'll clear. So now we can pull it out. Trying not to block the shot, but I'm getting my fingers behind both of these tabs, and I'm just pulling it toward me. There we go. Once we get it past that tab on the transmission, I'm gonna swing it back the other way so I can clear this plug and pull it out. There we go. Make sure you're catching the fluid still. So this is the filter here, and it just pulls out just like that. This car has 90,000 miles on it, and this hasn't been done yet, and this is what the filter looks like. There's magnets on the pan. You'll see what that looks like when we get that off. I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside. We're gonna clean this out with a paper towel, and there is an O-ring on this housing, and that's what seals it. So we're gonna replace that as well. All right, we're gonna remove all the 10mm that are holding this pan in. I'm gonna loosen it all the way back here first, since that's the lowest point of the transmission. It'll direct the fluid that is in there toward the bottom, and in one area it'll make it easier for me to collect it. But it's just a bunch of 10mm holding that pan in, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. it goes, starting to drain some more. So we'll let that drain out before we remove the rest. That way we make sure we're collecting it all. We're gonna move the farthest one away from over there last to keep it tipping down. All right, now we're gonna hold the pan while we loosen this last bolt. Drain it down into there. There we go. Most of it. Set the pan aside. Pull off this gasket. And now here's the other filter. It's got 3 10mm holding it in. When you pull this out, more fluid's gonna come down. So you wanna be underneath of right about here. And I'll let you know if any of these bolts are longer than the others. If they are, you don't wanna mix them up. So far these two are the same. Keep those separate from the pan bolts. Hold on to the filter while you pull out that last bolt. Another short bolt, they're all the same, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. Now we're gonna pull it out. Actually, the pickup is over here, so you want to be under right this side of the filter. So we're going to move our pan just a little bit and pull it straight out. There we go. We still have our O-ring on this pickup. Sometimes they get stuck up in the housing there, and you're going to have to reach up and pull it out. You don't want to gouge that in there, so it's an O-ring. You could probably do it with your hands. Just be careful. We're gonna drain all this into our pan so we can measure the fluid. And here's what I was saying about that standoff sticking up through the drain plug. That keeps the level at a certain height, and that kind of gives you an idea how much fluid to put in. So I'm gonna kind of let this drain here for a little bit. There's the 2 magnets on the bottom of the pan. This doesn't look too bad to me. I don't see any big chunks of anything. What we're seeing here is just clutch material, and that's normal. We're gonna wipe those off, remove everything stuck to those magnets, wipe all of this out with a paper towel, make sure that it's real good and clean. We're gonna put in a new gasket. You wanna make sure that this gasket surface here is clean, and same thing on the transmission side. You want that to be clean as well. So I'm just going to clean this up, and then we'll start putting it back together.